Roll call.
And voting.
Well, I mean, roll call vote.
Yes, roll call.
Yeah.
Here's an.
Yeah.
Jackie, anytime you're ready. Ready? Okay, let's see. Okay, and we're on. Okay, good evening. We're ready to call the meeting to order for the Planning Commission on Monday, October 10th, 2022. And we're going to get started with the Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody could rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Jackie, go with the roll call.
Okay, Chair Klowitter.
I am here.
Vice Chair Mamdapurkar.
Here.
Commissioner McMorris. And Commissioner Schwartz.
Here.
And Commissioner Crapman.
He's out of town and is excused for this meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, couple items of information here. Tonight's meeting is live streamed on cable channel 3 and on the city online platforms. Our public comment guidelines are to prevent any overlaps in comments. Each commissioner will be called upon to speak. And as far as the public, this is the time set aside for members of the public to address the Planning Commission on items of interest that are not on the agenda tonight, but are within the subject matter and jurisdiction of the Planning Commission. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the Planning Commission cannot answer any questions or take any action until such time as the matter may appear as an item on a future agenda, but we certainly can listen. If you wish to address the Planning Commission, please fill out a speaker card, and they're available in the foyer at the back table. And once completed, you can bring them up to I believe Jackie will be collecting those. So make sure you mark which item you'll be speaking to. But do we have any cards for the public comment? Anybody? Items that are not on the agenda. Okay, we'll close the public comment, and we'll look at the consent calendar, which has one item, and that's the approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Unfortunately, I wasn't here. So you guys are on your own.
I move to accept the meeting minutes as is.
Okay, second?
Second.
And we'll do a roll call vote.
Chair, if I may, just one minor item. I think staff has a slight correction to the minutes that would reflect that the vice chair chaired the meeting on the 12th rather than in chair's absence.
Okay.
So it would be minutes as amended.
I'm fine with that.
Make the motion to approve the meeting minutes with the amendments as stated by the city attorney.
Second.
Roll call. Chair Klowitter.
I'll abstain.
Okay, Vice Chair Mamdapurkar.
Aye. Approve.
Commissioner Schwartz.
Yes.
And Commissioner McMorris.
Yes.
Thank you. Vote is 3-0. Motion carried.
Great, thanks, Jackie. Okay, as I understand it, we have a presentation tonight regarding the Hestia Project. And is that you, Sam?
Yes, thank you, Chairman and members of the Planning Commission. Item 3 is a presentation prepared by Olivia Wang and Sage Murthy. They are two Los Angeles high school students. Sage is currently out of the state, so the presentation this evening will be presented by Olivia Wang. And the Hestia Project is an initiative that was started by both Olivia and Sage. And the goal of their program is to promote advanced building information modeling technologies. Their focus is to help streamline the development process for low-income housing and shelter projects for the homeless community. The current homeless issues is something that both presenters are very passionate about. They approached the Planning Division and asked for the opportunity to present their test project to the Planning Commission this evening. The Planning Division is appreciative of any opportunities to work with local schools and students to encourage public engagement, participation, and experience with the government process. So we said yes, we can place the presentation on an agenda. And so with that, we invite Olivia for her presentation.
Thank you. I'm Olivia. Like Samantha said, I'm a senior in high school, and today I'm talking about...
If you could get real close to it so we can all hear.
Does it work now? Okay.
That's better,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes, so I'm Olivia. I'm a senior in high school, and like Samantha said, I will be presenting the Hestia Project, which is a presentation and program that I and Sage have made together, but Sage is out of town, so I will be presenting for the both of us. So first I'll talk about why we chose the name Hestia. Basically, both of us are very interested in Greek mythology, so Hestia is the Greek goddess of the home and the hearth. So with the Hestia Project, we hope to share her warmth and also bring shelter to individuals in need. So first we were researching homelessness in LA, and we saw that in 2020, the data collected by the annual Greater Los Angeles Homeless Count stated that homelessness was only going up. And when we researched specifically, we saw how homelessness affected teenagers the same age as us, and we were concerned because there were 1.3 million homeless youth living in the U.S. unsupervised, 1 in 30 youth ages 13 to 17 experiencing a form of homelessness over a year, and 40% of homelessness in the U.S. were under 18. And then we were researching how nationwide California is the state with the highest number of homelessness cases, and after seeing these statistics, we wondered if there was a way to address this problem and hopefully improve the situation. So first, we were looking into the current low-income housing and how this housing pipeline works. So we found that in 1969, the Housing Element Law was issued by the California Department of Housing and Community Development. Basically, the law states that each city in California should supply low-income housing to meet the housing needs of all citizens. However, this has not been met yet because the housing pipeline has long approval processes, high construction costs, as we found that in LA City last year, each unit was on average $750,000 per unit housing, as well as the difficulty to apply and get loans and grants from propositions or measures such as Measure H and Proposition HHH. So next, we wanted to see how we could make this pipeline more efficient, so we looked into existing housing projects. The beginning of this year, we visited Tiny Homes Village, which is a community of prefabricated tiny homes in Arroyo Seco Park, which has 117 units and 223 beds and opened just a year ago in November 2021. We found an article that stated that each tiny home was about $55,000, making it the least expensive source of homeless housing in LA County. Therefore, as we found this solution, we thought that we could propose a solution that was inspired based on these prefabricated and modular units. We would use prefabricated and modular units to both improve convenience and speed while trying to create a more permanent housing with a lower cost of production. We hope that by using shipping containers, we can make an eco-friendly solution that is easily modifiable to create units for different situations, such as individuals, single parents, and small families. As we came up with this idea, we started to look into possible manufacturers. When we researching, we found Boxable, who sells prefabricated units that arrive in small shipping container sizes. Each can be unfolded up to 20 by 20 foot units and are delivered with appliances and furniture installed. Each unit can be opened and be used within a day. On their website, Boxable states that the casita can cost as low as $54,500, so we found this very exciting. While designing our new layouts, we combined 2 shipping containers to form 10 by 40 foot units, or square shaped units, 20 by 20 units. Each container could be moved around, for each has its own benefits. We also designed a simple interior layout with arranging the basic necessities such as bathrooms, beds, fixtures, sinks, and dining tables. With this simple layout, we estimated, based on the Boxable's casita, that the price would be around $60,000, including materials and labor. So after designing these individual units, we looked into possible sites of where we could arrange these units and how we could transport them. On the San Gabriel Housing Element document, which was published earlier this year, we found that this site near Gladys Avenue was one of the proposed sites for affordable housing. So we designed the arrangement of how we would arrange these 35 housing units, each of them the square 20 by 20 units, and each house could house up to 2 adults and 2 children. On this slide, we have the side aerial view, which shows that we have spacing as well as greenery to make the community feel more homey, as well as some more walking space. Thank you for listening to our proposal. This is the QR code to our website, as well as our email if anyone has any questions after the presentation. And these are our references. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Commissioners, any questions, comments? Go ahead, Sean.
Yes, I just, this is fantastic. I really commend you for doing this. I was pleasantly surprised when I saw this on the agenda, and it's very encouraging to see that our young adults are getting involved in such an important topic. So you did some wonderful research, and I want to thank you for it. And I just want to ask you too, please stay involved, because our city is currently in the process of creating and proposing an affordable housing ordinance. And I think that's going to come back to our commission fairly soon. And I certainly would love to have you and anyone else, any of your peers, come back and speak to us about that. But thank you. I recognize the hard work, and it's an important subject. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Anug?
Curious, which high school are you going to?
I'm currently a senior at Harvard Westlake School, which is near Studio City.
Studio City? Okay, great. Means you've found a lot of resources. I think you're using a lot of County of LA and City of LA's models to try to see if we can apply it here in City of San Gabriel. Again, it's great work. Looking at sites that are available, and hopefully our city council also gets behind us and works with you in trying to get more information from you directly. You're a great resource at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming to present to us, and for finding a site that you could do this on. That's very instructive for us, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, just quickly, San Gabriel's a small city, and we don't get the benefit of people in the education industry coming in and giving us some ideas and some things to chew on. And I think it's important. So, thank you for your time. Thanks for coming out on a Monday night. And, there's a football game on. So, anyway, thank you very much. We appreciate your hard work. And good luck to you and your partner in the future.
Thank you for the encouragement and comments.
All right. Good luck to you. Okay, very interesting. Okay, did you want to go over the public hearing guidelines?
Yes, thank you, Chairman and members of the Commission. My name is Samantha Tiwasart, Planning Manager with the Community Development Department. Copies of tonight's agenda are available on the city's website at www.sangabrielcity.com, and as mentioned, on the table by the entrance. If you wish to speak on any of the items this evening and are not the project applicant, please fill out a speaker card and submit it to the recording secretary, who is Jackie this evening. And the speaker cards are also available on the back table. Please write down the item number that you would like to speak on, and speakers will be called up one by one to the podium during the public hearing portion of each of the item. Each speaker will be given up to 3 minutes to speak. And there are 4 public hearing items this evening to be considered by the Planning Commission. For each item tonight, staff will provide a summary of the staff report, followed by any clarifying questions from the Commission. And prior to the close of the public hearing, the Commission may ask additional questions of staff or the applicant. However, once the public hearing is closed, the opportunity for public comment has ended. And once the public hearing portion is closed, the item will move into Commission deliberation. And so, Chair, at this time, staff is ready to present agenda item 4A.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Sam. Okay, our first agenda item is, item A is for 1421 Stevens Avenue. It's planning case number Tmap 22-008 for a tentative parcel map, and the applicant is Eric Sang. And our presentation will be by Assistant Planner Marlon Cervantes. Hi, Marlon.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. The public hearing item before you tonight is a tentative parcel map to allow for 3-unit condominium subdivision located at 1421 Stevens Avenue, planning case number Tmap 22-008. The proposed project site is located on the northwest corner of Stevens Avenue and West Newby Avenue, which can be seen on the aerial map provided here. The subject property is zone R3 for multiple family residence and measures 6,100 square feet. Currently, a single family residence and detached garage are located on the property. Both structures are proposed to be demolished for the construction of the proposed project. In the R3 zone, the San Gabriel Municipal Code allows for a density of 1 residential unit per 1,742 square feet of floor area. Based on this lot size, a maximum of 3 residential units are allowed on the property. As shown on the map here, the proposed tentative parcel map would create 3 condominium units for the purposes of individual sale of each unit. Access to the property is proposed from Stevens Avenue to the east for Unit A and Newby Avenue to the south, with a shared driveway for both units B and C, as well as the required guest parking space. The proposed 3-unit condominium project meets or exceeds each of the development standards set forth in the San Gabriel Municipal Code, as can be seen on the development standards table here. The proposed building measures 28 feet in height from the average natural grade, covers 35% of the total lot size, and provides a total of 3,709 square feet of total private open space in the form of ground level patios and rooftop decks. The San Gabriel Municipal Code exempts multifamily projects of 4 units or less from Design Review Commission approval. However, it does require that the city architect and landscape architect review the proposal for consistency with the City of San Gabriel design guidelines specific to multifamily developments. The city architect has found the proposed design to be composed in an interesting asymmetric pattern with a good use of accent materials, and that the project is consistent with other recently approved multifamily developments in the surrounding area. The subject property has a general plan land use designation of high density residential which allows for the construction of multifamily units. The proposed project is also in line with General Plan Housing Goals 2.1 to expand the supply of housing in accordance with the land use designations and policies in the General Plan Land Use element and Housing Goal 2.2 to promote and encourage the provision of adequate housing to meet the needs of the community. The proposed project was reviewed for compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act and was determined to be exempt per guidelines section 15315 Class 15 for minor land divisions. On September 29th, a notice regarding the public hearing for this project was mailed to all property owners and tenants within a 500-foot radius of the project site, posted on the project site, and published in the September 29, 2022 edition of the San Gabriel Sun. Additionally, the meeting agenda was also posted at City Hall and on the city's website. Subdivision Map Act Section 66473 requires that the City of San Gabriel deny approval of a tentative map if it is able to make any of the required findings for denial. Based on the proposed application, staff is unable to make any of the following findings for denial. A, that the proposed map is not consistent with applicable general and specific plans. B, that the design or improvement of the proposed map is not consistent with applicable general and specific plans. C, that the site is not physically suitable for the type of development. D, that the site is not physically suitable for the proposed density of development. E, that the design of the map or the proposed improvements is likely to cause substantial environmental damage or substantially and avoidably injure fish or wildlife or their habitat. F, that the design of the subdivision or type of improvements is likely to cause serious health problems. And G, that the design of the subdivision or type of improvements will conflict with easements acquired by the public at large for access through or use of property within the proposed subdivision. Pending further questions, staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of San Gabriel, California, approving planning case number Tmap 22-008 for a tentative parcel map at 1421 Stevens Avenue for a proposed 3-unit condominium, subject to the recommended conditions of approval. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Any questions, commissioners? Go ahead, Sean.
Just one quick question, and this might be for the applicant themselves. I'm just wondering, I see there's small areas of landscaping. I'm just wondering if they had any plans to do drought-tolerant landscaping given the current water crisis in California.
I believe the applicant is here and should be able to answer that question.
Okay. Why don't we go ahead and have you come up, if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, commissioners. My name is Eric Sang. I'm the architect for this project. And regarding the question for landscaping, so there is a requirement from the city to do a water calculation based on the type of plants and trees that we're going to use. And there is a ratio that we need to meet in order to comply with the requirements. So it's not completely drought tolerant, but it's limited by the water usage of the plants. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. You can go ahead if you had any more.
Yeah, I can give a brief presentation about this project. So, so the project in front of you is a 3-unit condominium, and all units are 3-story in height, and it ranges from 1,545 square feet to 1,567 square feet. All of the units has a 2-car garage and a small office on the first floor, 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom on the second floor, along with the living room and a kitchen. On the third floor is the 2-bedroom and 2-bathroom. And there's also a roof deck and private open space for each of the units in order to comply with the open space requirement. There's 1 guest parking space provided, in total of 1 parking space provided for all 3 units. And that's also per the zoning requirement. And regarding the design, is a modern architectural style with the use of natural material and colors. We used natural wood slates along with concrete color stucco and sidings. And it's consistent with the overall design of the the structure. For landscaping, we're proposing, let's see. We're proposing 3 new trees. That's 36-inch box in size. And 2 of them are along the street frontage. And a variety of plants in other open space areas, as well as on the roof deck. We're also proposing some planter box to have softened the space on the roof deck. So yeah, that's basically my presentation. And if you have any questions, I'm here to answer. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Do we have any questions for the applicant?
I had a quick question. Where was the extra space located in the plan? If you wouldn't
The
mind bringing-
extra space?
Yeah, that guest parking spot.
So we have 1 guest parking spot that enters. You want me to point it? Or which one? This one? Yeah. So it is this space right here. That's a parking space. Enter from this driveway, turn into this parking space. And that's the only parking space we have for the guests. And I think Marlon asked me this morning that if we can fit another parking space. The only way to put it is to utilize this private yard space for Unit B. But that will reduce the total open space below the required open space per the zoning code. Yeah, and because each of the units has their own private yard space, and Unit B already has the kind of like the smallest one. So if we take away this, it's kind of unfair for them. So
Just quick question.
Yeah.
If I'm a guest of Unit A and I wanted to park in the private parking space, I would have to park next to C, come
Yeah.
out of the driveway and then come around? Is that generally?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That means
For sure.
there's no access from cutting across.
No, unless they want to park on the street.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it
And,
means, since this is a high-density location, I noticed that means during weekend it's not too bad, but I've been there during the
mhm.
evenings, and it can be a bit crowded, especially since New Avenue tends to not have parking on the street, so a lot of their guests tends to park on these smaller streets like
Yeah.
Newbie. So-
It's beneficial for the developer to have extra space too, but we don't have any space for it. Really cool, so
I understand what you're saying about your
Yeah.
trade-off in terms of
yeah.
providing that.
And also, I mean, we can widen this driveway approach to add a space here, but it wouldn't look good to have such a wide driveway approach. It would take away some street parking space too, so it doesn't make sense to do that. So yeah, that's the only idea I can come up with, but it will be short on open space by like 150 square feet.
Right. No,
Yeah.
means it's a trade-off. I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you for providing that information.
No problem. Thank you.
Actually, we've got a good suggestion here. With that guest parking spot, you may want to put a mirror on the on the wall approaching, just so you have some visualization of what's happening there, especially when you're coming out into a driveway.
Sorry, you said put a mirror on there?
So you can see
So whether there's a car parked there, yeah.
There's a car there,
Oh.
so you don't pull in.
Okay.
And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, you gotta back out.
It's just a suggestion.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I like it.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, Jared?
This is a question for you and also probably for staff, but whenever we see these projects, even, I mean, yours fits all the standards, and that's excellent. Construction, when how much construction, you've got to deal with dust and all, and getting rid of dirt and all that, but I'm just concerned about the neighborhood and construction and noise.
Okay.
And when does the actual when can it be done so that, you know, like Sundays, you know, are there requirements for when construction can be done and not done? I'm looking at Samantha. Do we know what the requirements are?
I'm sorry, Commissioner Swartz, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, when I'm concerned about construction and noise in the neighborhood, so there's nothing in the resolution that talks about construction.
Yes, Commissioner, we'd be happy to add in a condition of approval that reinforces the city's construction time limits, which is Monday through Saturday, no construction on Sundays. So staff can absolutely add that as a condition of approval.
Along with hours of the day?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'd like to see that, please.
I agree with you there, Jerry.
That was my concern. Otherwise, I think the project is fine. I hope it's very successful.
Thank you.
Mm. Okay,
That's all.
very good. Okay, any other questions for the applicant? I think we're fine. Don't go too far.
Oh.
unless something comes up here.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, do we have anybody from the audience who wants to come forward and speak on this issue?
We have Michelle Yan, who will be
very
speaking.
Good. And you have the card? Thanks. Name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Michelle Yan. I'm 1500 Stevens Avenue. My wife and I live opposite the proposed development of this project, and we oppose this proposal and do not support a multifamily development in this area for several reasons. For one, there has been increasing crowding of this area, especially post-COVID. What this means is that there is less and less parking on the street. I can tell you from experience that one parking space is wholly inadequate for one unit, let alone three. For instance, the unit that lives on top of us, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. It's a family of 5 that live upstairs, and they have 4 cars between them. So what this means is that even when the unit has a certain amount of parking that is located on the property, that there will be always additional street parking that is taken up on a permanent basis, let alone on weekends for guests. What this increasing amount of crowding goes hand in hand with is the amount of reckless driving that has gone on in the area. There has been a higher amount of development on Valley Road with a lot of folks zooming down the street late at night with no mufflers, often going off the side street, going down Stevens as well, which has made it very difficult to sleep at night. I don't know if you are aware, but there was a crash recently on Stevens that went along with the large amount of cars that were parked on Stevens with this reckless driving, and they just completely totaled an RV that was a small RV that was parked next to us, and we heard that within the unit. So it has also created a dangerous situation for folks that do use the outdoor parking. Along with that is the higher amount of outside noise that this crowding will bring to Stevens Avenue. So we work in several rooms that face outward in Stevens Avenue, and as you may know, most of these homes and apartments on Stevens Avenues are older apartments. They don't have very good insulation, and it's very vulnerable to outside noise, whether it's increased amount of landscaping noise or garbage trucks. And increasing the amount of multifamily developments on the street will increase the noise that everyone has to deal with and decrease the standard of living. And I think also, going back to the parking issue, I think it's important to note the amount of development that's happening at both ends of the street. On one end of the street, you have Boba 8090, which is extremely popular late at night. And if we have this multifamily development, which is essentially on the other side of Stevens, which we would be sandwiched in the middle, then there would be a large number of cars from from both Boba Avenue crowding in one side and this proposed multifamily crowding in on the other. So we feel that for these safety reasons and for outside noise, that it is unsuitable for this neighborhood, as well as the fact that this property has never really tended into further outside areas. We're concerned that, because the lawn has never been upkept, because those kind of weeds are drifting into other neighbors' areas, that this is going to be a harbinger of, unpleasant situation that will come down the road when there's construction. And especially concerning is the fact that if we're working during the day, as many people do nowadays post-COVID, that we're going to be dealing with this noise from 9 to 5. And I already have to deal with this noise. My spouse is a therapist and has to regularly stop sessions with clients that are going through mental health crises because of the outside noise. And we feel like this is becoming a more and more inhospitable place for us to live. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Anybody else? Is that it? Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your comments. I am going to go ahead and close the public comment and open this up for commissioner discussion. Sean, you want to kick us off here?
Sure. So I just had a couple of questions, perhaps for staff. I think they primarily have to do with some of the issues the public speaker brought up. So do we have a noise ordinance in the city of San Gabriel?
To my knowledge, we have an ordinance specifically limiting construction from after 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. during the week, and anytime after 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. on Saturdays, and construction is prohibited on Sundays, as stated by Sam.
Okay, and also so then if residents around the area, I know that it won't be being built forever, but during that construction period, which will presumably there'll be some noisy times. Is there a way, a number for residents to phone the city and ask for assistance about any noise, and if there's any way to measure the amount of noise, and if it's above the adequate amount that is allowed?
Typically, that would be through contacting our Neighborhood Improvement Services, our NIS division within community development, to alert them of any noise concerns. Usually they'll go out there and pay them a visit and take the required action. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. And I just wanted to address speak just as quickly about the parking issue. So yeah, I hear the resident concerns about parking. I live in an apartment. We deal with crowded street parking a lot. One thing I'll say is, other than I sympathize, I do, is that I know there's new state laws that were just passed literally like less than a month ago that now mandate that cities are not going to be able to mandate a minimum number of parking spaces, primarily to get people to use cars less and more public transportation. But there's various, I don't remember all the details in the law, there's various conditions around it. That's all to say that, I'm hoping the fact that, most people that live there don't have more than 2 cars. If you know, they do, they are going to have to pay for parking permit to park on the street. And I'm hoping that folks will start, you know, with these new parking requirements, require fewer parking spots. It's not going to happen overnight. So, other than that, I also think there's conditions of approval that, you know, if there's any loitering or there's a property maintenance program as well in these conditions of approval. So, I just wanted to let the resident know that I think there's some safeguards in there, but if there's any concerns during construction, I think that they can go ahead and call City Hall.
Okay. Jerry, any comments?
Well, I've already made the comment before about putting in construction time, putting those construction time periods in the resolution. And I think that because this project has 2 spaces per unit, the chances of, and the size of the units, chances of a lot more street parking, I think, are limited. They're intended to be limited in this case, and have on-site parking. As for the project, I think it meets all the development standards, and it meets some decent architectural design, and I think it makes sense as a proposal.
Okay, thanks. Nug?
I'm in concurrence with our fellow commissioners. You know, this project fits within the standards that's been set by the city and the state for construction. Yeah, I agree with that. It'd be nice to get more parking spaces, but it sounds like the state does not allow for additional additional requirements. But I think the best we can ask is that, you know, with these condition of use approvals, that we consider again emphasizing, you know, our dust control, and maybe understand if there's a haul route requirement, and understanding that no trucks stay idle for more than 5 minutes, and just make sure that, you know, our neighborhood enforcement is out there to notify the contractor when they start, that, you know, what are the requirements, and, you know, that there's concerns from the community around them, that they should, you know, continue to be good stewards to their neighbors. So.
Okay. Yeah, just a point of reference, items 30 and 31 in the conditions refer to demolition plans and dust mitigation and grading and you know, just some of the noise and dust control issues that we do have as part of the project conditions.
And if I may, Chair,
Yep.
also Municipal Code Section 100-058 deals with both noise and dust control during excavation.
Okay, excellent, thank you.
During construction as well.
During construction, yeah. Okay. Yeah, a couple of items from the young lady who came up and spoke. You know, every development we have in the city, the parking in the crowded streets comes up, and it just makes it very difficult because we're an old city, and you know, there's no open space. If we're going to build something, we probably have to tear something down to do it. You know, it just breaks my heart to see some of these old houses go down and you know, multi-units go up. But on the other hand, we do have a master plan. We do have zoning requirements, and you know, what is before us today is an R3 zone with a ability to put 3 units on it, and with the supplied parking, which is what the architect has done. The other thing I'm concerned about is the condition of the streets. Not that this development has anything to do with it, but I think it's something that the city just needs to hear once in a while. And, you know, that is, you know, some people are just out of control once in a while. And, you know, so we really need to lean on some of our city services to be able to regulate that. As far as your one item about the the condition of the existing property, I would tend to agree with that, but you know, the best way to solve that is let's clean it up. So from what I've seen, this is a good quality development. You know, if we can lean towards the drought tolerant landscaping, now that we have an opportunity to develop it, I think now's the time to do it. You know, let's not get close to the edge. Let's break some ground. So that's my feeling on this one. It looks like a fine development as long as the guidelines are met and are followed. So I'm going to go ahead and move to adopt a resolution approving planning case number Tmap 22-008 for a tentative parcel map, which is number 83784 for a proposed 3-unit condominium at 1421 Stevens Avenue, subject to the recommended conditions of approval, including the addition of the suggestion to spell out the hours of construction and kind of beef up the dust mitigation and some of those things. So do we have a second?
Second.
And we'll do a voice vote.
Yes, voice vote. Commissioner McMorris?
Yes?
Commissioner Schwartz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Mamdapurkar?
Yes.
And Chair Klowitter?
Yes.
So the vote is 4-0. Motion carried.
Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations, and best of luck on your development.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, our next item is B, 264 South Mission Drive. It's planning case number CUP 22-007. And the applicant is Christopher and Nellie Tran. And let's see, what do we have here? Got Samantha, you're down for this one.
Yes, thank you, Chairman and members of the Planning Commission. The subject property is located on the east side of South Mission Drive, south of the southeast corner of Mission Drive and West Broadway, in between the city's Community Service Department building and the Mission Playhouse. The subject property is zoned Mission District Village in the Mission District specific plan area. This is a photo of the subject property. It's the existing west elevation front entrance and the east elevation rear entrance with the parking lot area. The existing first and second floor plans, it includes 13 fixed vendor stalls on the first floor, primarily along the building walls, with 4 stalls located at the center of the first floor. And also the second floor, which includes an art gallery area as well as a lounge area. And this is a photo of the first floor area, which shows one of the vendor stalls, as well as some of the fixed seating, and also the second floor lounge space. The existing lot is currently constructed with the existing building on site, as well as 16 striped parking spaces. So the request before the Planning Commission this evening is a proposed amendment from the property owners requesting to delete condition number 13 in the existing conditions of approval included in the original conditional use permit application under planning case number CUP 18-13. And the condition currently reads staggered hours prior to the certificate of occupancy as staggered hours of operation plan shall be submitted to the Community Development Department, and the hours of operation for all the tenants shall be reviewed and approved by the Community Development Department on an annual basis. In 2018, when the Masonic Lodge was repurposed to the existing food hall, it was unknown whether the parking demand for each vendor would exceed the number of parking spaces available on the property. And under the city's 10-point plan for recovery, resiliency, and reinvestment, the city's Economic Development Division in 2001 proposed a short-term pilot program to allow for some flexibility to condition number 13 to fill a couple of the vacancies in the food hall at the time. And for the past 9 months, the food hall under full occupancy has shown that parking has not been an issue on the property. And additionally, removing condition number 13 will assist the food hall to fulfill current occupancy that is currently in the building, and also with any future vacancies that may come. No other changes are proposed as part of this request. The building and parking will remain as is, and no other changes are proposed to the existing building operations. This request remains consistent with the city's general plan, which including goals, economic goal 4.1 to create a vibrant business community, as well as economic goal 4.2 to stop sales tax leakage from San Gabriel to adjoining communities. The application was reviewed per California Environmental Quality Act regulations, and was determined to be exempt under guideline section 15301, class 1 for existing facilities. Public notification for this meeting was mailed to property owners and tenants within a 500-foot radius, posted at the subject site as well as City Hall, the post office, the library, and also advertised in the San Gabriel Sun. So the recommendation before the Planning Commission this evening is to adopt the attached resolution of the Planning Commission of San Gabriel, California, approving planning case number CUP 22-007 to amend conditional use permit CUP 18-013 for a shared parking reduction, on-site beer and wine sales, and live entertainment in conjunction with a food hall at 264 South Mission Drive. And this is subject to the recommended amended condition to remove condition number 13. And this concludes staff's presentation.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Commissioners, any comments, clarifying comments? Nope. Nope. Okay. Let's see. Is the applicant here? Did you want to talk about this, or? Come on up.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for this opportunity, and it's been a great 9 months since we opened, and I think we accomplished 2 of the economic goals that Samantha just outlined, which is one is to stop the sales leakage to to neighboring cities, and I think we have accomplished that. For example, we've been getting a lot of nurses and scrubs that come over repeatedly every single day for lunch and dinner. I have pictures, but I can send it to you if you want on the site. And then what was the other economic goal vibrant? I think, okay, for vibrancy, so I can give you some economic details to show how vibrant the food hall has been. So every quarter, remember it's only been 9 months, and for the last 9 months, every quarter we'll be producing almost $1 million in sales, just gross sales. That's not including the owners, it's just gross sales from the vendors. And then we created, the management created 7 part-time employees and 1 full-time employee. And directly, the food hall created 35 to 80 direct jobs by the vendors. And we have 2 vendors that are expanding their businesses in that 9 months. Mandillo, they just expanded to Murray Park. And Picadillo Grace, as you know from San Marino, they're in this little stall, 130 square foot. Now they moved to a bigger stall, which is 230 square foot. So this is all within 9 months. And yeah, and also lastly, the walking score when we first applied for this project was 83. Now it's 89. So for a point of context, that's the same number as the city of San Francisco. So people are walking to the food hall to eat or around the neighborhood, and that reduces parking demand. So that's it.
All right, very good. That's exciting.
And
So a great success in the first 9 months?
yeah,
You're
so yeah, we have 11 out of 13 vendors are resigning their second year. And the other
Okay.
two, they left because we asked them to open an extra day. And the other one, they've been expanding so fast. So since they opened the third location at our food hall, they opened 5 more. And but the downside is that they stopped paying us rent.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
so we had to evict them.
Oh, no.
But we have Pico Third Grade that she jumped on it, and she's opening next month.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right, so you were able to fill that up again?
Yeah, fill up again. I mean, it's pretty successful because if you look at the grand scheme of the law of businesses, like the first 2 years, you have like 40% of business crashing, and then 5
It's a
years,
shocking
like
number.
80%. It's
Yeah.
a shocking number. But so far, we have 11 out of 13 that are staying.
Okay, well, congratulations. That's great news.
Thank you.
And
Question.
go ahead.
In changing this, are you still closed on, gonna stay closed 1 day a week? Or are you gonna
We
open
have
7
to.
days a week?
So our food hall is very unique. If you look at other food halls in the area, they're all local chains. They have staff that can come in and work for the owners. The owners don't have to be there. But this one, we want to be unique. We want to approach by giving startups, mom and pops, to start their businesses. So they're there every single day, and they need a day break. So that's why we have a day off. And that day off is very good for the management too, because we have a lot of repairs that we have to do still. And it just doesn't look nice to have customers come and then you're like hammering. So that's why we have that.
So you're gonna stay closed on 1 day a week?
Yeah, one day a week. But eventually, hopefully, if the vendors agree, we can do 7 days when we fix everything and the vendors are up to speed.
Go ahead.
I had a quick question.
Yes.
Have you had an opportunity to use your stage?
Oh, we use it. We have it every. Not until recently, we've been having live entertainment every Saturday or Friday, and we have this group of kids from San Marino Music Center. I don't know, you know them. They come once a month to perform on our stage to their, to the parents, and so yeah, a lot. And we even have magicians on there, and our meeting room, we have nonprofits. We're booked 2 days of the week to nonprofits every week, and then on the evenings we have comedy club every Wednesday night. Every comedy club every Friday night. No, once a month every Friday, and then we have game board nights once a month on Wednesday, and the rest of the time we're giving to private rentals. Yeah.
Okay, great. I had a second question, but this is more for staff. Why did we have a staggering hours as part of our requirements?
It was parking.
It was for parking. Do we still have an issue? Means, does the city have a plans that will need to continue to keep the staggering hours? I guess that's a question I have.
We're trying to remove
But-
those.
Yeah, but, well, my question is, does the city have any plans that will necessarily need it? Is there anything that's the future plans for, let's say, the old 421 project or our Mission Playhouse? Is there anything that's going to be coming down the pipeline, let's say in the next 5 to 10 to 15 years, that will need to have this section still this requirement still be part of this application?
Yes, Chairman and members of the Planning Commission, if at any point in time this conditional use permit application, similar to any conditional use permit application, if there is a reason to reevaluate the conditional use permit, then that is something that staff can bring back and present any new information at that time for the Planning Commission to consider.
Okay, all right. Thank you for the clarification.
Can I answer to that comment?
Absolutely.
So I don't know if you've seen the parking demand, the study that we did. It's quite low at 35% at the Playhouse. Full capacity, when it's on Monday to Friday, full capacity is at 35% at the Playhouse parking lot, and under 10% at the Park and Ride lot. So the only time that we get very busy is when the Playhouse have major events. But that's fine because the customers are our customers. And I think customers are very smart. They know when not to come. We experienced that. Like when you said about Tuesday, we don't have people coming on Tuesday because they know we're closed. So I'm not worried about future parking demand, and I feel like the walk scores can get higher and higher as this place becomes more vibrant. And we have so many residential residents here that they can just walk to eat instead of driving to another city to eat. And we have 13 vendors in one house. You know, it's a lot of options.
No, I appreciate the parking study. I did take a look at it. It's very low, your percentages are.
Yeah.
It was just more of I'm trying to understand,
Yeah.
recall what happened two and a half years ago when you did come and propose this idea.
Yeah. And I want to say also, we have 2 vendors that open for breakfast that we enforce staggered hours on. They found out that they get no customers in the morning, and they have to shift their hours to lunch and dinner. And I don't know, you have a letter from one of the vendors that they wrote to you guys, asking if they can remove the staggered hour because they can't survive with the.
No, I don't think I saw that one, but
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought it up. Thank you for letting
Yeah.
us know.
Okay. Lastly, lastly, it's very hard when we get future tenants to sign long-term leases when they say, oh yeah, they're only allowed to open these many hours. It's very tough, and so.
I understand. I'm glad you put the model for, allowing one day, you close one day, but allowing a lot of the mom and pop stores to have an opportunity to get that rest and also give you an opportunity to do any maintenance you need to, or catch up work you find that wasn't done earlier during prior to opening.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there anybody here to speak on this one? Jackie, do we have any cards?
Yes, we received one email.
Okay.
It's from Jessica Wu, and she's the current owner of Cafe Etc. at the Blossom Market Hall. And she writes, I'm writing to you and the City of San Gabriel to kindly remove the staggered business hours requirement. As a small woman business owner, I'm grateful for this opportunity to be one of the vendors at Blossom Market Hall. I'm also grateful that the city allowed us to operate after 4 p.m. during the pandemic. However, it has been a very challenging year financially for our business due to high inflation, increased minimum wage and material costs, labor shortage, etc. Currently, we hardly have any sales during weekday mornings, and our business won't survive if we are forced to close at 4 p.m. Most of our dessert customers mainly arrive in the evening. Therefore, we truly need to keep our current business hours in order to survive. Without the evening business hours, we'll have to close the shop, which we are trying to avoid. In addition, there has never been a parking issue in the parking lot. Most of our customers are from the neighborhood and they travel by foot. There are plenty of parking spaces in the direct parking lot, and the parking lot across the street is always empty, even during the weekend. Therefore, we are kindly requesting the removal of the staggered hours requirement. We are a proud vendor to represent the community in the City of San Gabriel by employing local employees and enriching the city with diverse cuisine and eating experience. We will thrive together with the city's support and commitment. thank you so much for your understanding and consideration. So.
Okay, very good. Okay, anybody else want to speak? No? Okay, we're going to go ahead and close the public portion and open this up for commissioner discussion. Sean?
Sure, yeah, I just want to make sure I understand correctly. Also, I believe it's so the public speaker that's emailed in, their comment was regarding the item, or not the item, but bullet 13, staggered hours.
They're subject to the staggered hours.
Okay, I just don't know what is that? It says it has to do with parking, but what about hours of operation? It seemed like that there was something there with hours of operation. And what could someone explain exactly what the parking and the hours of operation has to do with one another?
Yes, Chairman and members of the Commission. The staggered hours is to specify that certain types of business are to be open either in the morning times, in the afternoon times, or into the evening times to distribute the potential parking demands that may occur on the property. And so this was a condition of approval at the time when the food hall was first proposed to the city and brought before the Planning Commission. However, the food hall has shown that even under full occupancy with some flexibility to condition number 13 these past 9 months has shown that that there isn't a high demand on the parking on the property. And so for this reason, the property owners are requesting that the condition be removed, and the recommendation to the Planning Commission is to remove the condition. Also, staff? Okay, yes.
Yeah, so then also just clarify again then, so by removing this also then the vendors they can stay open longer, which is what I believe okay, thank you for that clarification. I wasn't putting the two together. So, yeah, thank you.
Okay, very good. Jerry?
I'm sort of speechless. This thing has been as successful or more successful than we had hoped it would be. It's brought people to San Gabriel, I think from other areas, and clearly vendors from other areas have come to San Gabriel and been happy to be here. We can't ask for much more than that. And if the applicants need more flexibility, the tenants need more flexibility, I think the owners have proven that they would do what they did, what they said they were going to do, and we should support their continued efforts to grow and succeed.
Yep, I agree. Anag?
Congratulations to running a successful organization. It means you have various vendors who are succeeding. You're giving mom and pops stores an opportunity to showcase what they have and thrive and provide an opportunity for themselves. And I agree with Commissioner Schwartz. Giving you such latitude will actually hopefully benefit your vendors, but also give you better opportunities to be able to sign future clients if the need to the need arises for an old vendor to leave and a new vendor to show up. So yeah, it means it's great to see this business thrive during the pandemic and hopefully in the future as well. Thank you.
All right, thanks. I agree with my fellow commissioners. Congratulations on your success, and we certainly don't want to stand in the way of anything. I'm actually excited about the fact that people are walking to your facility. We try to beat people over the head to do this, and if you have a suitable destination, they will do it. So that's that you should be commended for that. Okay, so we're open to a motion. Anybody want to jump in here?
Yeah, I move to approve staff's recommendation to remove condition 13, staggered hours.
A second?
Second, okay. And a vote.
Commissioner McMorris,
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz,
Yes.
Vice Chair Mamdepurkar,
Yes.
and Chair Kloetter.
Yes.
Vote is 4-0. Motion carried.
Okay, good luck to you. All right. Okay, next item is, what do we got? Planning case number CUP 22-006. This is a conditional use permit for 409 and 411 South Mission Drive. The applicant is wife of the party, and our staff report is, looks like Anthony's up.
Yes, thank you, Chairman,
You bet.
Commissioners. Good evening. The next public hearing item before you tonight is for a conditional use permit request to allow for an event planning space business located at 409 to 411 South Mission Drive, planning case number CUP 22-006. The property is located in the Mission District Specific Plan and has a zone of Mission District Village. It has a land use designation of Commercial Specific Plan. The property is located on the west side of South Mission Drive, between Ramona Street to the south and West Santa Anita Avenue to the north. The property is surrounded by the San Gabriel Mission Elementary School located across the street, photography shop, sorry about that, located to the west, a Thai fast food restaurant located to the east, and San Gabriel City Hall and the McGordy office building located to the south. And this is just a street view of the proposed site. 409 and 411 are highlighted with the red square. This is the proposed floor plan. Actually, it's the existing floor plan. The tenant is looking to demolish the wall that is highlighted in yellow. We already had the building division go out there for a site, excuse me, a site inspection to verify structural integrity of that wall. So the applicant, if the project is approved, will have to work with the building division and see if a permit is necessary for that work. So the wife of the party, and I have Lorianne and a lot of the applicant team that could elaborate on this a little bit more, but she has her warehouse operations located in Alhambra and has been operating for, I think it's about 15 years now, putting together really extravagant events, party planning events, weddings, quinceañeras, things like that. And these are some of the pictures of those events, kid events, even celebrity events. And she could clarify on this a little bit more, but what she really intends to use this space as is for more smaller parties, smaller gatherings, a meeting place. So we probably won't be seeing celebrities here in San Gabriel, unfortunately, but yeah, and Lorianne will clarify on that a little bit more. Okay. According to the Mission District Specific Plan, the parking requirement for a restaurant space is 1 space for every 300 square feet. A parking requirement for a banquet hall and event space is not specified in the Mission District Specific Plan, so staff determined that this is more closely aligned with that proposed use. Based on the square footage of the space would require a total of 13 parking spaces. Due to the low amount of available parking in the Mission District area, the Mission District Specific Plan does mention the use of public parking lots in the area surrounding the proposed project to help meet those project needs. The aerial imagery shown to the left shows City Hall highlighted, or let me see if I could, it doesn't highlight right there. The bigger square to the towards the bottom of the picture on the left is the City Hall parking lot, and the L-shaped yellow highlighted area is our 15 parking spaces that we have adjacent to the McGordy office building. The business would utilize those 15 available spaces, and as you can see, there is a picture here taken from that parking lot that shows that this additional parking is for City Hall, Chamber of Commerce, and Mission District businesses. If there was an event that the patrons would need to use any more parking, City Hall is also a public parking lot that is mentioned in the Mission District specific plan to provide extra parking to the neighboring businesses. As mentioned before, the general land use designation is commercial specific plan. The project was found to meet the following goals of the general plan as well as the Mission District specific plan, as well as making the attached findings for the proposed conditional use permit. These findings are found in the attachment A of the resolution for the staff report tonight. The project was reviewed for the compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA, and this project was found to be exempt per guideline section 15301, class 1 for existing facilities. Noticing was required for this project. Mailed notices were mailed out to property owners and tenants within 500 feet of the proposed project site, as well as having a notice posted at the project site. The agendas for tonight's meeting were posted at the City Hall, Post Office, and the San Gabriel Public Library, as well as having an advertisement posted in the September 29th issue of the San Gabriel Sun. And this will conclude staff's presentation on the item. With that, staff would recommend that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of San Gabriel, California, approving planning case number CUP 22-006 for a conditional use permit to allow an event planning space at 409-411 South Mission Drive, subject to the recommended conditions of approval. That concludes staff's presentation. I'm available for any questions that the commission might have, as well as the applicant team. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Anthony. Do we have any questions? Nope. Okay, and the applicant is here?
Yes.
Did you want to speak, or you don't have to, but it's completely up to you.
All this hard work can't go unnoticed for everybody. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lorianne Cerna, and my husband, Herrick, behind me, and I are the applicants, as well as our daughter, Natalia Valencia, who runs 2 of our company businesses. And then the rest of our team, Lulette, Maya, and Brandon, they were the ones that were available just to come to show support. Part of the reason that we really expressed interest in the city of San Gabriel is we used to be residents here on Roses Road. I grew up in South Pasadena, and then we moved to San Gabriel, specifically North San Gabriel, and I really, really fell in love with the building when we saw it. We'd been looking for quite some time. We looked in Alhambra, and it just really wasn't quite the fit for us. As mentioned, we do have a huge warehouse on Date in Alhambra, right by Costco, where we store our trucks, a lot of our lighting equipment and things like that, and our offices are run out of there. So it's extremely convenient for us that it's about a 4 to 5 minute drive. Part of the thing that's really also important to us is serving the community. So I'm very interested in seeing how we can support local vendors. On the average, our company does between 25 and 30 events a month. We also do a lot for local schools and communities and organizations. We donate to schools. We donate for multiple, actually pretty much anyone that can reach out that we can support. If we have the capacity, we do it. I would really like to put the time and money and effort into the city of San Gabriel because I feel that that area is extremely underutilized. It's so beautiful. It's very sad, to be honest, for me to drive through there and see such a lack of activity. I think that having the school across provides also a great value for us both. Some of the things that we do and used to do in our main street office were trick or treat for the kids. We'd have pictures with Santa for the community they could come by. I mean, we own an incredible prop house, so we've always been able to really give people experiences, and that's something that I personally pride myself for. You know, we have a tagline that says we celebrate people, and that's what we do. And I'd really like to see if there are businesses that we can align with, but even now there's not a lot of food vendors, there's not a lot of restaurants. You know, how do we go after them to support them and make them participate in an approved vendor list or some type of fashion where we can really encourage that local business. I'm very excited. I'm nervous, as you can tell, but we really, really love the space. Everyone has done a very, very good job in helping us become educated on how to go about this process. It's very overwhelming if you're not used to it, but our intentions are to keep it very, very beautiful, very high end. You actually don't know, we may have some celebrities coming our way, Anthony. We're trying to convince a few of them actually, to support us in some ways to get the word out there. And we really hope that you consider it and see the value that we can truly bring.
Excellent, thank you. Okay. Did anybody else want to come up and talk? Okay.
Hello, my name is Jian. I'm actually, my husband and I own the subject property. And you probably know that a Tunas used to be there before the space was empty, and we liked them. Unfortunately, the business was not running too well, and they had to retire, and one of the owners got sick. So anyhow, when Lorianne approached us, we were very excited that another catering business came in, and this time it's actually even better because she doesn't really do the cooking as much. She does event planning, and she actually needs restaurant to supply the events and the food. So that's even better. Like, I think Nomad's already supplied some of the ice cream for their events, and she talked to the Thai restaurant, Luna's, and some of the other restaurants over here. So this is going to be really synergistic and helping the whole community. And we met and had lunch with them, and we were all very excited. We had lunch at Luna's, and we were already talking. It's like, the food's really great. We're going to do a lot of the events. So this is something just perfect match. And on top of that, we purchased the building because we love the old Spanish architectural design. That's how our house is, that type of a style. And she came and she said she loved the space so much. She even loved the floor. We were going to redo the floor. She said, no. You're going to have to keep it. You just have to redo the surface, but we love the space. So this, I feel like it's like a match made in heaven here. So, and there's a family business, Lorianne, her husband, their daughters, all working together. We're really touched about that. It's really beautiful to see family working together. There's such a hard work ethics. They work a lot. My husband and I, we also work a lot. We're optometrists. We got married, we worked together, so we really like that. So that's also a beautiful thing. And again, she's going to utilize the local restaurants and work together with everyone. And we're really excited that she could come on board. And one of the important events is, as you know, that the holidays are coming. They really need to get the space going so she could get some of the business. And we are hoping that you could approve this tonight so they could go ahead and make planning so that she could start getting some business for the holidays. And as you know, that she has a lot of ideas, and we do hope to see some celebrities here. And that's it. We are just hoping that you could get approved so that she could start making plans for the holiday parties. Thank you.
Great, thank you. One more?
Gina?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Gina Fanara. I am the representative agent for both the owners as well as the tenant for 409 to 419 South Mission Drive. I've been working pretty hard on trying to find good tenants for this building that can make the city proud and happy, and I believe I've hit the jackpot with wife of the party. I am speaking on tonight on behalf of Nomad Ice Pops. They could not be here, and so they submitted an email, so if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to read their comments on this project. Sorry I cannot be there in person tonight. I appreciate you hearing my comment. I am firmly in favor of wife of the party being granted permission to operate in the space formerly used by our Tunas. As that building's longest surviving tenant, I think that they are a perfect use for that space. I've actually provided ice pops for a few of the events that they've organized, and I know they are a high-end service, professional, and with a solid reputation and clientele. I think anyone they bring to the district would be an asset, and I think they could easily be some spillover benefits for other businesses, like the Grapevine or the many food businesses. I hear concerns sometimes about parking, and frankly, I think it's a little silly. There has to be people and customers for parking to be an issue. And in popular shopping districts like Old Town or Santa Monica, people walk for parking all the time. I don't see how parking would be an issue, and I'd welcome seeing more people and businesses in the historic district. Sincerely, Jeff Jennings of Nomad Ice Pops. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Any more? Okay. That's it. If there is nobody else who wants to speak, we'll go ahead and close the public portion and open this up for commissioners' discussion. Yes, sir.
Yes, Chairman. Lorianne was asking if she could come up, and she just wanted to add one more thing.
Okay. Come on. No problem.
I forgot to share with you what the whole premise of our business was, particularly with this location. One thing that we are known for is high-end events, and with that, people assume that it's very expensive, and it is, especially with the increased price after COVID, receiving materials, flowers, everything has gone up. But one of our main goals when we talked about opening this was to give people the opportunity to have affordable parties. Part of our service, we own lighting, staging, special effects, we do fabrication, so we really are more than a planning company, we're a full service production company, and we want to be able to have things installed in-house within so that when they come in, they don't have to spend the money to bring everything in. They don't have to worry about third-party labor and getting people to bring in all of the, the commotion, the back and forth. What we are known for is often donating people. If we have something in the warehouse that works with their theme, we always throw it in. We go the extra mile for them. So in-house already, when people come into the space, whether it's for a business meeting or maybe after a funeral at the Mission, I know they expressed interest in talking to us about that when my husband reached out about parking, that because the rectory is not functioning, people sometimes need a gathering space afterwards. We will have in-house sound at no additional charge, in-house lighting for them, things that normal people who don't spend $40,000 or $50,000 on a birthday party can have access to give them those moments, or the sports teams, or whatever it is. So that was one of the big reasons that we wanted to do that, was so that we could also give people a more affordable experience overall, which I think is very beneficial for a lot of families, because a lot of the things that we do are not realistic for your day-to-day common neighbor. So I just wanted to add that to my statement. Thank you.
All right. Very good. Thank you. Okay. Let me kick this one off. One of the first things you said was that it's an underutilized area here in San Gabriel, which has been one of our frustrations on the Planning Commission since I started many years ago. And one of the things we did was we adopted the Mission District specific plan with honestly some pretty grandiose plans of what we could be able to accomplish. And then several recessions later, here we are. But the exciting thing is that here you are, and really looking at a suitable use for the space. And the synergy you have going with the landlord, that's priceless, really. Everybody seems to be going in the same direction, and you've got a great business plan. You're already successful. You're just expanding that, and you're looking at helping build the community. We've got San Gabriel is blessed with some of the most wonderful restaurants around, and to be able to tap into that, I think, is going to be a real benefit for you. So anyway, that's how I feel about it. Anag?
I was excited to see this project coming through. It's great to see that space being occupied. When anyone, I can tell you for sure that when during the weekends or during the week, you'll drive by our Mission Drive and you'll see weddings, people taking photos out here for the Mission or the Playhouse or Quinceañeras. Everyone's taking photos, but it'd be great to have them if they can just enjoy the space also that's here after they take photos or spend time here. It seems like a lot of people would like to have an opportunity to just kind of relax after taking a photo shoot, or just spend time having a party out here. And you give them this opportunity, I think that would be great. I can see, this definitely, growing and becoming a very hot spot, you know, hashtag San Gabriel with all the celebrities that we do have right now, you know, like Anthony walking by, you know, or any of our other city staff or any of the communities coming around, you know. Definitely this mission, we have one of the oldest missions here in our area, and the Playhouse adds to that, as well as a Grapevine, you know. And your business will definitely, you know, grow with those synergistic situations. I appreciate you taking the time to come and visit San Gabriel. Thank you.
Sean?
Yeah, just a couple things. First, in terms of the parking, I believe, and I was just trying to find it. I know that you have businesses other places. I think that you had written somewhere in your business plan that this particular spot would be more for some of the smaller sized events. Oh, okay, and then because during the week it's for appointment only, and then most of your business is on the weekend. You know, I feel like that the parking is probably adequate. So, and then other than that, I just think that yeah, it'd be nice to see some celebrities. But I think even better is the fact that what you mentioned, the synergy. I've seen, you know, there's some businesses on mission that have stuck it out through the hard times, and God bless them. And the more that the community and the businesses can work together, I think that's really great, and I hope that happens. But you know, I'm glad that you found a spot that you like, and I hope that it's successful.
Jer?
This is a meeting I'm going to remember, because we have had 2 consecutive items in the Mission District. One we just approved that has been successful, and now you are coming, wanting to be in San Gabriel, wanting to be in this space, again in the Mission District, and taking advantage of other businesses in the Mission District to help with the synergy. Really, there's nothing more we could ask. It's very exciting that you want to be here. We're excited to have you here, and we hope you are extremely successful, celebrities or not. If you continue to bring parties to San Gabriel that would otherwise go other places, that's a huge plus for us. Having all those people come to San Gabriel that you bring in for your business, and I hope that's a lot of people. I hope you're very successful.
Thank you. All right, very good. Okay, we're entertaining a motion.
Yes, I move to approve the planning CUP 22-002 conditional use permit for this location.
A second.
And a vote.
Commissioner McMorris?
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Mamdapurkar?
Yes.
And Chair Kloetter?
Yes.
Vote is 4-0. Motion carried.
Oh. Congratulations to you. And best of luck.
Thank you so much.
All right. Oops. Okay, thank you very much. All right, let's see, I believe this is our final item. We've got planning case number CUP 22-005 for a conditional use permit at 606 and 6-612 West Las Tunas Drive, and the applicant is Jing Yu Zhu. And Anthony, You're up.
Yes, Chairman and members of the Planning Commission. At this time, I don't know if there's any mention of distance requirements or anything. Are we okay with this item, Anthony?
Oh, yes. Thank you for that. I think we have a vice chair that is within the radius of the project and will not be able to, will have to recuse himself.
Thank you. Yes, I am within the 500 feet notice, and I did receive a notice, so.
I must have just missed it.
You must have missed
I
it.
think, Chair, you were just out of the range, yeah.
All right.
Very good. Okay, so you're recused.
I'm recusing myself today.
Okay.
All right. Have a good evening, everyone.
We'll
Take
see you
care.
next month.
See you next month.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you for that, Samantha. Okay. Have a good night. Okay. So the last public hearing item before you tonight is for an amendment to an existing conditional use permit to allow for the expansion of the existing adult daycare health center located at 606 West Las Tunas into the space at 612 West Las Tunas. Planning case number CUP 22-005. The property is also located within the Mission District specific plan area and has a zone designation of C1M, which is the marketplace. It has a general plan land use designation of commercial specific plan. The property is located on the south side of West Las Tunas Drive between South Alame Avenue to the west and South Santa Anita Street to the east. To the north of the project is a medical office building. To the west is a photography store, and to the east is a general office use. To the south of the project is a the city-owned parking lot, as well as residential to the other side of that. So as mentioned before, there is already a conditional use permit for the proposed use at the 606 West Las Tunas site. So it's just a brief rundown of the history of this proposed or this existing project site. In July 2000, Planning Commission originally considered the proposed conditional use permit for the adult daycare health center at 606 West Las Tunas. However, the commission voted to continue the item and have staff and the applicant work on some items at that time. And then it was brought back at the September 11, 2000 Planning Commission, in which case the commission decided to vote to approve the CUP request. A couple years later, in October 2021, or I'm sorry, October 21, 2002, an amendment to the approved CUP was approved by the Planning Commission to add exercise classes, including yoga, tai chi, and similar low-impact aerobic exercises to the existing adult daycare center. This site view shows the existing adult daycare to the left, located within that red highlighted box. The business located just to the south of it with a green awning is the space at 612 West Las Tunas, which used to be occupied by a jewelry store. This is the existing floor plan. So on the bottom is the existing adult health center, and just to the top of that is the 612 address. Right now, the applicant is just proposing to open up a doorway so they have more space for that adult center and the customers or the applicants that come in and use that space. However, the applicant will need to work with the building division, provide construction plans, full set of plans for any kind of work that they're going to do to make sure that everything is done up to code. Just a short rundown, and we also have the business owner here that she could elaborate a little bit more. But the adult daycare is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. They offer different kinds of exercise activities as well as speech services, physicians, nurses, and physical and occupational therapy. Okay. According to the San Gabriel Municipal Code, the parking requirement for a daycare center is 1 space for every employee plus 1 space for every 5 participants. The applicant has stated that the increased square footage will not add additional students or employees, but instead provide more room in the facility to serve the existing clientele. The approved CUP was calculated at 10 employees and 80 participants, which would end up bringing it down to 26 required parking spaces. The original CUP allowed the adult daycare business to utilize the public parking lot located behind LMA and Las Tunas Drive as a way to meet and fulfill their parking needs. That's shown on the image to the left, kind of the darker concrete asphalt area. For the proposed amendment, staff requested that the applicant work with the independent traffic and parking engineer to provide the required parking for the adult daycare health center. The applicant ended up working with J.M. Diaz, consultant, who did review the previous staff reports and the parking counts at that time, as well as reviewing the site that you see today. They provided a memorandum that was prepared and determining that made the following statement. The public parking lot is more than sufficient in meeting the new expected parking demand. The image to the right also just shows an image that was taken from a sign that's in that parking lot that states, public parking lot, park at your own risk, not responsible for damage or theft to the vehicles or vehicle content, City of San Gabriel. These are just some images of that parking lot located to the rear with a total of approximately 70 spaces. Staff did also want to acknowledge the fact that as part of a previous condition of approval, I think in the September 11, 2000 staff report, staff at that time working with Public Works did require that in order to meet accessibility requirements for the business, they required the business to install accessible parking spaces, in which case they installed and paid for the 3 accessible parking spaces, as well as a handicap ramp going into the business at 606 West Las Tunas. The general plan, this project was found to be consistent with the general plan, consistent with the goal for economic goal 4.1, which is to create a more vibrant business community, as well as making the following 5 findings, recommending that they are finding that they meet the findings to show that the project can be supported by the city. The environmental review for this project was found to be in compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA, and determined that the project is exempt from the CEQA Act per guideline section 15301, class 1 for existing facilities. And noticing was also required for this project and was done in the following ways: of having notices mailed to all property owners and tenants within a 500-foot radius of the subject site, notice posted at the project site, agendas posted at City Hall, Post Office, and the public library, as well as also having an advertisement in the September 29, 2022 issue of the San Gabriel Sun. And with that, staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of San Gabriel, California, approving planning case number CUP 22-005 for an amendment to an existing CUP to allow for the expansion of an existing adult daycare center located at 606 West Las Tunas Drive into 612 West Las Tunas Drive, subject to the recommended conditions of approval. This will conclude staff's presentation at this time. The applicant or the business owner is here with a translator and will also be able to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, Anthony. Gentlemen, do we have any questions?
Yeah.
Of staff?
Anthony, do you know how long the Churro store's been closed?
I don't know that off the top of my head. I know it was recently. applicant, and maybe the applicant would have better insight on this, but the applicant did recently acquire this space within the last, I'd say, year or two.
Thank you.
Okay, is the applicant here? Did you want to say a few words? No? Okay. Oh, you had another question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just had some questions, clarifying questions first. The operating hours, I believe it states in Exhibit 1 are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then Monday through Saturday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Is I'm assuming that's correct? I mean, in the agenda, I just wanted to make sure to clarify something else. I'm sorry, that's on Exhibit 1 on the first page of the second to last paragraph, number 7.
One is the health room, one is the exercise classes.
Okay, so then what? The exercise classes are in the evening, and or vice versa.
Yes.
But
sorry, Commissioner. What page are you looking at?
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm on. It says. Let's see. It's after it's right after it's.
Condition 7.
Yeah.
On the attachment A?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the conditions.
Okay. And maybe we could just get the applicant to kind of confirm that, but basically hours of operation, if you could. You have to.
Good evening.
Hi.
Excuse me, I English not very well. We working hour is Monday to Saturday, morning 7:30 to 3 p.m.
And are there evening?
No.
No evening.
No.
Okay.
Only morning.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I bring that up just, I believe, on the attachment F, which was the 2000 analysis done by the city for parking. It's the last paragraph on section E, parking requirements. I believe it notes that study was just done for evening hours. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yes, sorry. You're referring to one of the previous studies that was done?
Yeah,
or?
So attachment F, I guess what I'm getting, let me just get to the point. What I'm getting to is the attachment F, which is the engineering study memorandum.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 pages, and it basically, its entire analysis, from what I can tell, is that it's based on the 2002 report, which I believe I just cited was evening hours, and then also one Google Maps aerial photo that was from February 6, 2020, and we don't know what time of day it was or anything like that. So I just would, I know the engineer's not here. I support this, but I'm hoping in the future that there will be more evidence, or at least more included in the analyses than what they provided here. I don't think that this is adequate enough to say yes or no one way or the other that it's adequate parking. So
Thank you, Commissioner. And I will definitely note that down.
yeah. Thank you. And I support this project. I wanted to bring that up, and hopefully that there'll be the engineers who will be more conscientious of that moving forward. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sean. Jerry, any comments?
Yeah, I have to express just a little bit of disappointment that we lost a retail business in town for whatever reason. Maybe they retired, maybe they moved, maybe whatever. And that I'm sure it's difficult to replace that tenant with another retail tenant at that location. probably a tough place with little parking for that. Given that, this seems like a fine use. I'm sure that they're very busy and that they could use the extra space. So, given that it's not going to be a retail use, there's no reason not to allow an existing San Gabriel business to expand and bring in more, use it for their business purpose. That's all.
Okay, I agree, Jerry. Yeah, it's actually I knew the Wilkies. I went to school with their children who have reached retirement age, and I think that's what we're dealing with here. No, your existing facility is very successful. So, we've got the jewelry store that's been vacant for, I'm going to say, years. It's been quite a while. And to be able to move this in and expand your existing business into that space, I think is a good move for you. So I certainly don't want to stand in the way of that. Okay, I'm gonna, if I can find it here. Let's see. I will. Let me make sure I'm on the right year here. We've got reports from back to 2000. Okay, I'm going to move to adopt a resolution of the Planning Commission.
Chair, excuse me. We do have public comments.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I looked out there and everybody's spoken, so I'm sorry.
No, it's by
Go
email.
ahead.
Okay. First is from Mr. Ray Chun, and he wrote, per subject public notice, please ensure the business has set aside a good location for their own trash bin. The current adult daycare business doesn't really have a good storage location for it, and sometimes have been using other business trash bin as their own. The second one is for Mr. Rick Yen. Pardon the flow of words, but I will read his sentences here. The current business of adult care center already has been causing lots issue of pickup and dropping off the members in front of them and adjacent business, and received a lots of complaint from our customers of hard to find a parking space. If business expanded to 612 might cause even more parking problems. Number 2, during business hours, the adult center's big transportation van or bus often parked in front of nearby street side instead of some reserved parking lot behind business building that eliminate lots of parking opportunity for nearby business customers. Number 3, as a loyal business owner in City of San Gabriel for 25 years, we are appreciated committee will put this comment for serious consideration. Best regards, Mr. Yen.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, I think we can close the public portion. And okay, on that point, with the applicant here, what's your trash situation? What do you have a bin, or how are you dealing with it?
Yeah, because we just one employee come here, he is wrong. We have trash. Never happen again.
Okay, I wasn't clear on that.
She said the center has a trash can, but I think this is wrong.
Yeah, only one time.
Only one time.
Yeah, no problem. We don't use another one. Only we have a trash bag.
You have, okay, so you have trash facilities and you use your own.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think that was something that Thank you, Martin. I was going to actually clarify. I don't have a picture of it, unfortunately, but maybe from this aerial view, right under where it says Casa Calderon, that's actually the parking lot. The small sliver is this parking lot that is located for 612 West Las Tunas. And through Google imagery, you could see that there is a trash bin there. So they have a location if they expanded into the 612 to provide adequate trash pickup.
So that frees up that second trash bin for
Yes.
their facility.
I think it is right where the parking spaces are, correct?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't work. To the 612 in the back, those 3 parking spaces, on the other side of the parking spaces is where they have the trash bins for 612.
Gotcha.
So they would utilize that space, they had said.
Okay, so by taking over this space, we're actually expanding our trash capacity, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Good.
And then as far as the other public,
van?
yes, the van. So I did communicate with the owner about that because there have been instances where they do park on Las Tunas Boulevard or on Las Tunas Drive. So according to previous staff reports, I think it was 2002, stated that they wanted to actually have that van parking located to the rear of the parking lot. So I was going to recommend to the commission if we could actually add a condition of approval on top of the already existing conditions of approval to require that the van parking, when not utilized, be parked in that rear parking lot.
And not on Las Tunas.
And not on
the
Las
rear.
Tunas,
Okay.
correct.
Okay, very good. All right. Let's start over. I'm going to move to adopt a resolution of the City of San Gabriel approving planning case number CUP 22-005 to amend an existing conditional use permit to expand on an existing adult daycare business located at 606 West Las Tunas Drive, subject to the recommended conditions of approval, including directions for van parking to use the rear parking lot as opposed to the public street in front. Okay? And you guys can clean that up as far as wording. Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, and a vote?
Chair Klowitter,
Yes.
Commissioner McMorris,
Yes?
and Commissioner Schwartz.
Yes.
The vote is 3-0. Motion carried.
Okay, thank you, Jackie. Congratulations. I'm glad you're expanding, and best of luck to you. All right.
You're welcome.
Okay. Now, last but not least, Samantha, do you have any items that you want to share?
Oh, no items this meeting, Chair.
Oh, thank you.
Did you go to the planning commission or the planning conference?
No, I did not. However, the senior planner as well as Anthony, the associate planner, were given the opportunity to do so. And so, Anthony, I don't know if you have a quick follow-up comments on that.
Yes, thank you for the question. It was actually my first conference attending in my planning career, so it was interesting and very insightful. I did attend some helpful, workshops and sessions. One of the ones that I found to be most helpful is the updating about the state's recent legislation that's going to be coming forward. There's things regarding, of course, SB 6, which talks about, commercial zones with residential housing and how cities are going to have to implement that. There's even some new updates for ADU laws.
No.
Yeah, new updates for ADU laws. I think there's changes to the height requirement and changes to front yard setbacks. So, of course, we're going to have to probably dig into that a little bit and bring something to the commission to consider, or if it's a mandate, to move along to the city council. There's also some other bills that were adopted by the state, regarding building plan check process and kind of expediting that, streamlining that process, giving them kind of shot clocks. So no, it was interesting, and yeah, you could definitely look forward to seeing some new ordinances coming your way soon.
How well attended was the conference?
Oh, it seemed pretty well attended. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Anthony.
Thank you.
Okay, commissioners, anything? Yes, sir.
Yes, just would like to acknowledge that today is Indigenous Peoples Day, and want to recognize that and acknowledge and honor the Tongva Nation. They are the indigenous peoples of this region. So that's all.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, let's see, somewhere here we're gonna have the next meeting. Let's see, okay, we're going to adjourn to the regular meeting of the Planning Commission on Monday, November, oh my God, November already, November 14th. And it will be here. All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.